Welcome to the Divine Purpose Podcast, where we transport you along one of the more dynamic journeys of life. Have you ever been curious to know what it takes to become a successful leader? Or about knowing the secrets of life through the Bible? How about engaging in conversation where no topics are off limits? We will take you to new levels with guests who can help you grasp the importance of your calling. Now, here's your host, Eddy Dacius, founder of Dacius Facilities Management.
All right, so let's switch to the business side of Rebecca. So what can you tell or teach our listeners about business?
What can I teach them about business? Can you be a little specific about
Like
that?
how to start a business. We remember our conversation where like
Yeah,
you told me what status I could take advantage of.
yeah, yeah. So that is a very heavy topic, right? In terms of the legal aspect or, the foundational aspect of starting a business. But what I would tell anybody listening is when I first started my first business I started at 15. I think I was selling hair products somewhere
Okay.
in school. So
Wow.
I knew early on that I was an entrepreneur and I did not want to work a 9 to 5. I worked in the accounting space, the accounting world for years, and I just couldn't get it together. I made a prayer and I said, God, I want my time to be spent doing the work that you've called me to do. And working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is not allowing me to preach to people, to just be out there and ministering to people. So I started my first business, which was a home care business, which I still have. And I've hired, managers to take care of that. But where my heart is in terms of the business aspect is in my accounting firm and in my purpose to profit business,
Okay.
which is a business that helps women, Christian females, launch their coaching and consulting businesses, and I help them scale their businesses within 1 year. So to anybody who's listening, if you're looking to start a business, the first thing I would tell you and suggest that you do is to really map out the why behind the what. Why do you want to start that business, right? You have to have a fuel, and that fuel can't just be money. If you're just starting a business because you want more money, the minute things start to get rocky, you'll give up, right? But if you start a business where you are passionate about something, you want to have change, you want to impact people, you want to leave something, for generations to come, then that is where the transformation comes in. So to anyone who's listening, if you're thinking about starting a business, map out why you want to do it and give us a call. You can always call us. I am a business consultant. I'm able to sit down with you and draw out a plan that's specific to your vision and your goals, because there's not just a one size fits all, plan. I can tell you, yes, you need to get it legally set up and all these things, but there's so much more that goes into that. And that is a tailored service that I can provide to you.
Oh, well said. Well said. So let's go back to your background educationally from Bentley. So can you take us to that journey?
Yeah. So Bentley was great. I was an undergrad there. I have my master's in theology. I have my bachelor's in accounting. I have currently working towards getting my PhD in ministry. So I am well grounded in both the business aspect and working and solidifying the calling that God has given me as a minister as well. But yeah, so that was very that was a really great time in my life, just getting my bachelor's, my master's, and kind of working my way through there. But yeah, education is important, right? If you want to start anything, you want to do anything, it's not necessary that you have an undergrad degree or a bachelor's or a master's degree, but what that does is it puts things in perspective, right? And it gives you the tools in order to really set your plans in space. So yeah.
No, and I think you said it really well. And so, but can you take us to the why Bentley? And I think you probably could go to any school you wanted, but so can you take us why you chose Bentley?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in high school, I actually got a full ride to college, a
Okay.
full scholarship. So for me, my decision in choosing Bentley was, I think I only applied to three schools, honestly. And I applied to one in California. I already knew I wasn't going to go to California because my parents were sticklers about that. And then I applied to UMass Dartmouth and I think Bentley and another school. I can't remember which one. But really, the deciding factor from at attending Bentley was I knew a couple of people that had previously graduated or had been to Bentley, and during those conversations with them, it just made sense that this was something that I would see myself doing. My parents actually wanted me to be a nurse,
Oh,
right? Like my parents, or a doctor or something. And
okay.
I hate biology. I can't even tell you what a cell membrane is. So I'm like, there is no way I'm going to be doing anything in the medical field. But I love numbers. I loved calculating. I loved just digging into statistics and things like that. I was actually going to be a statistics professor, and that was my dream. I wanted to do that.
Wow.
But God had different plans because he knew that he would want me to start my accounting firm to hopefully create space for new things to come. So I'm so happy I took that step in joining Bentley and being a Bentley alumni.
So just a
Actually, I
quick
have a funny
shit.
story about Bentley, actually.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I attended a conference. I was invited to be a part of a conference in California. And this was relating to my purpose to profit business. And I was there. And during the conference, there was a guy, I had a Bentley, like one of those bracelets that I had gotten from freshman year or something. I don't know why I was wearing it. Like, it did not even click in my mind to take it off. And I was sitting there, and there was a guy behind me who kept kind of trying to get my attention, but he was a little bit older. So I was like, okay, what is going on? So finally, after the conference, we were in the kind of the waiting area, the reception hall. And he was like, oh my gosh, I was a Bentley alum in 1997. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool that this, gentleman was an alumni in 1987 and 1997, and he saw my bracelet, and we kind of talked about his Bentley experience decades ago and my experience now. So that was actually pretty cool.
So looking back, what do you think is the most important aspect of that education from Bentley?
Yeah, so the most important aspect of any education, not necessarily from Bentley, and you can be from any school.
Yep.
I think having the framework, right? Because you're not necessarily going to be working through everything you learn in school, but having the opportunity to set yourself apart and differentiate yourself from someone who doesn't have that education comes into play and comes as it is very valuable. I know for me with accounting in my tax firm, obviously it's definitely needed in my space of work to have the accounting degree and to have certifications and qualifications. But even beyond that, if you are in a space and you're getting an education, just look at it as an investment in your mind and the connections you're going to be able to make, and just being able to learn as you go and as you grow. So I think any education is definitely key to being a stepping stone to growth.
I had Pastor Gene. He was talking about his family and being grew up in a Asian family.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can touch on that. What was your experience being a Haitian and then living in Jamaica and in educational? I know Haitian, they really focus on education. They push their kids to do better. So I don't know, what was your experience like?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would want to be any other nationality than Haitian. I just love being Haitian. I love everything about my culture. I love everything about being a Haitian person. I just speak about it every chance I get. But one of the biggest things that I am really fond of, and I am so thankful and grateful to my parents for this, is they don't take the slack. You got to be on your A game all the time. And, they don't settle for anything less than perfection. And even now, I would say one of the biggest facets of my life that has contributed to me being an entrepreneur is my father, because my father was a business owner. He's just a light. Like he just, motivates you to be the best that you can.
Challenge you, right?
Huh?
He challenge you, right?
Yeah. He challenges you to just kind of take on the calling of God, but to accelerate it and make it perfect, right? I am a stickler for perfection. I like for things to be done well. And I think I get that from my father because he does not settle for anything less. So going back to your question, what was it like growing in a Haitian family, growing up in a Haitian family, or what does that mean to the journey of entrepreneurship is, it just fuels me because I know I have to not only be kind of like the light in my family, to be the first to do things, not because there's pressure to be the first, but I want to be the first because I want people to see us in a new light. I want people to see the Haitian people in a new light. Like, there's some stigmas that come around, Haitian businesses and things like that. My staff, I have 6 staff members, and my motto for each and every person is to be your best self, even when there's no one watching, right? To show up with excellency. So my parents definitely instilled that in me.